Well guys, the time is finally here. We're finally about to move to Canada, 5 more days, and I'm about to take the dogs to their dog kennel close to the airport. I cannot believe how quickly this time has come around. I mean, it has been 6 years waiting, but these last few weeks has been really full on. Little backstory for anyone new here. We are moving from Australia, Western Australia, to British Columbia to go and work on a ranch and eventually try and get permanent residency and then buy our own ranch. Sorry, the flies are so bad out here today. It's going to be nearly 40 degrees Celsius, so they're very active. Anyway, I got to take our dogs to the kennel. Here's Wolf, and then the other one's Harley. For those of you that do follow us, we did have Turbo until recently and sadly had to put him down because of, he had a tumour, and I won't get into that. You can always jump onto my Instagram, which is down here, and have a look at a little tribute video I made for him, but sadly, the 3 dogs aren't able to come with us. Okay, so the whole point of this video is to show our move with the dogs. I know a lot of you have asked us questions, and there's a lot of people that are sort of left in the dark of what to do with the dogs when moving abroad. We're going to show you guys the whole step with getting vaccinations, the fact that we've organised a company to pick them up from a kennel, and why we have taken them to a kennel instead of taking them straight on a flight with us. So anyway, right now my job is to take these 2 Muppets in the car for an hour-and-a-half drive all the way down to Perth, near Perth Airport, to stay at a really good kennel for the next couple of weeks. And then once we get there, I'll explain the rest to you guys. All right, come on, Wolf. You ready, Harley? You know you're not going in the trailer, right? It's not even hitched onto the car, you Muppet. Come on, in the car. Come on. Good girl. Come on, Wolf. Good boy. Now, Harley, she's an old girl. She's on tablets for her thyroid, as well as tablets for her arthritis because she's got sore legs. So she can't actually jump up. I'll lift her up in a minute. Wolf! Come on, buddy. Gonna jump in the car? In you get. Up you get. Good boy. So I know that this isn't a very clear video because the sun's shining right in on this window, but in the car I've packed a few t-shirts of Conor's that he's worn around so the dogs have our scent to keep at the kennel while we're away in Canada.
Stones we carry, clothes we lived in, all the tales we will tell our children. No, we're taking the high road. Lay beside me, wake the morning, ever after, day reborn in. No.
Alright guys, I have just dropped the dogs off at the kennel, and you probably could tell before that I was very stressed out in that the intro of this video, and I just felt a real huge sort of shift change since I dropped the dogs off at the kennel. I feel like less stress, grounded, and this whole move finally feels somewhat real. Up until now, it's felt like one huge big stress job that we have to do, and it hasn't been very enjoyable. With everything with COVID throwing obstacles in the way of our move, it's been very, very, very stressful. But now with the dogs at the kennel, I feel like that's one huge job done. It did take me an hour-and-a-half drive, nearly 2 hours, to drop them off, and I still need to do that big drive home. But I've stopped off at the shops to update you guys on everything we've done so far for the dogs with moving abroad. So the first step of us organising the dogs was emailing a few companies to get quotes. I'll pop up a few on the screen now of the places that we got quotes from. Most of them for 2 dogs at the time of COVID were roughly $7 to $8 grand for 2 dogs to fly from Perth all the way to Vancouver. But then we came across one dog company called Aeropets, and their quote was $5,800, and all their reviews online have been really good. So we decided to go with that company. The good thing with this company is when they send you a quote, it's valid for 60 days. I think it's got in small print that some small fees may change. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, and I don't want to be saying false information, but I think things may change because of flights and times and things like that. But roughly for us to fly the 2 dogs without kennel costs is $5,800 and something. So I thought that wasn't too bad. I know it's a lot less when COVID's not happening, but yeah, anyway, so that's the price of the dogs. Next step was we had to get them vaccinated. Minimum requirement was, I think it was a C3 or C4 shot, but we got the C5, which covers a bit more, and it was only maybe $10, $20 more. So we got that done. That needs to be valid at the time of them flying, as well as usually for most kennels. I'm pretty sure all kennels in Australia anyway. Next step after that, we obviously had to shop around for kennels in Western Australia. So we decided to go with a kennel that was somewhat close to Perth Airport. That way when the flight company goes to pick up the dogs, it's a quick and easy transport, and it's part of their fee to go in the metro area around the airport. So we didn't have to fork out extra money for that. We got a few quotes. They do range quite a lot depending on which kennel. Some places weren't actually kennels. I thought they were. They were like pet hotels, and the prices were, oh my gosh. But we found a kennel, and normally I don't share all the price of things, but because I'm making such a different video today, normally we just share our experience, like we're going up to a mountain today, or we're going to the beach today. So I don't normally do these how-to videos. It's not really my thing. But you guys, I've had quite a few of you message me on Instagram and stuff asking me for tips on the dogs. So I'm going to share all the prices in this. The dogs, I paid for 3 weeks of kenneling, and it was $1,050 for 3 weeks for 2 dogs. So I didn't think that was too bad. That includes their biscuits, and then I supplied them some meat and Harley's medication. The boarding kennel I went with, I'll put the name of it on the screen, were really nice when I dropped the dogs off. They let the dogs out into a big played area. It was all fully fenced, which is good because Wolf's a big kelpie and he can jump pretty high. So all fenced off with really high fences, really green grass. It was very clean, no dog poo or anything in there, and they had all dog toys. And Harley, of course, went straight to the water because she barked pretty much the whole hour and a half trip. She started to quieten down towards the last 20 minutes, but oh my goodness, that dog. The kennel asked to see the vaccination records, and then I just transferred the money over to them and explained their medicine, left all the medicine with them, as well as that letter that I explained earlier on, which I'll dive into more detail in a second. That letter from the vet, which had the header at the top of the vet, the way to administer the medicine that she's on, and then it had the vet signature at the bottom, so it was like a legit proper form. I gave that to the lady and she read it, and she wrote it all up on the board in there. So yeah, anyway, I've left the dogs there now. I felt a bit guilty leaving them because they've just recently lost our other dog, Turbo, which was very, very sad, and Wolf's been depressed. And it's really hard leaving the dogs because you can't explain to them that you're going to be back. They don't understand really the time difference and everything. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, we're doing the right thing. No point stressing about it. They're very lucky dogs to come all the way from Australia to Canada, and we can't wait to see them at the other end in Vancouver. It's going to be really cool. I left the dogs dog bedding at the kennel, as well as some clothes with our scent on it, so then they can smell us and feel like they're not homesick, if that makes sense. I left them some chew toys and bones and little snacks, as well as obviously Harley's medicine. I don't expect to get the bedding or anything back with the flight company. When they take the dogs on the plane, all they'll need to bring is their collars, their leads, and the medicine. So we've got it at the other end and they can administer it when they're flying. As far as I know, their flights are from Perth to Sydney. They get off for a few hours and then they fly Sydney to Auckland in New Zealand. I think they stay a night there, and then they fly from New Zealand all the way to Vancouver, where we'll pick them up at the other end. With the flights, we haven't actually booked that quote yet. We wanted to wait until we've actually landed in Canada and we've got our visas stamped before we get the dogs sent over. The last thing that we want is to land in Canada and they don't let us through, and then now we've got dogs flying over in 2 days and we've paid all that cost. We'd rather them be happy in a kennel with other dogs, feeling safe and relaxed, and then we'll send them over. So the plan with our flights is in 5 days' time we leave WA to fly to Sydney for 4 nights. Then we're flying from Sydney to Seattle in the US, and we're staying in the US for 15 hours, and then we fly to Vancouver. Unless something happens with COVID changes, we may have to drive across the border, but if it happens, it happens. We're going to find a way to get there. Once we get into Canada, we have to quarantine for at least 2 weeks. As soon as we get into that quarantine that first day, I'll be emailing the flight company to try and book in the dogs' flights, and they said it could take 2 to 3 weeks roughly to get the dogs on a flight and over there. So at the most, the dogs will be in Canada in 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks time from now. The boarding kennel has been really great with that. We've paid 3 weeks in advance, and they said once we know an exact date and if it has to be extended, I can just pay that then and they'll look after them. So all in all, it's been a pretty cruisy experience other than that long drive with Harley barking, poor wolf in the back. But yeah, I'm going to update you guys at the end of this video of us picking up the dogs, and probably we'll have a bit more information for you guys then. Until then, stay tuned, watch our other videos of our move, and yeah, we'll update you at the other end when we're picking up the dogs at Vancouver Airport. Hey guys, we're currently in Vancouver. Last time I left you off, it was in Australia, dropping the dogs off at the kennel, and we're finally ready to pick them up tomorrow. I just thought I would jump on here, show you guys everything we've bought for the dogs to get them ready for our big pickup tomorrow. We're very excited. After we pick up the dogs, we're heading straight out to the ranch, which is where we're going to be working, and it's a 3-hour drive. So we're trying to organise all that so the dogs will be comfortable in the back of the truck that we just bought. If you want to see more about our move abroad, I'll link up here our first few weeks in Canada. And then you can see us buying the truck and buying furniture and all that. But this video obviously is just based on the dogs. Out here is the dog crates we just bought. We've brought them outside ready to put in the back of the ute, or the truck I should say. Here is the dog crates that we bought. We bought them from Pet Safe, or Pet Smart, no Pet Smart it's called, in BC, in Vancouver. Inside we have opted for buying proper crate beds. We did try to go cheap and went to Dollarama to try and buy they were $4 beds, and they were just really uncomfortable for the dogs, especially in the back of the truck where it's all rickety and shaky and vibrating all the time. These are really thick, so we thought we'd better do that for them since they've just done a huge haul in the plane. Try and keep them as comfortable as possible. Our plan is to put obviously one dog in each one, and then we've bought some rugs to put over the outside here, and then a tarp, because we're going on a highway which is full of snow at the moment, even though it's really sunny here. Beautiful weather. The highway is 3 hours long, which we're going on, and it's full of snow. So we've bought a tarp to go over the top, and then the front will be open to let ventilation of air through. Okay, so our dogs are coming from Australia, 47 degrees heat at the moment, maybe a little milder, but they're used to extreme heat. So we've brought them really thick, good beds. We picked these up from Walmart or a Canadian Superstore. I can't remember which one it was. Then we went to IKEA, picked up some dog bowls. That one's for their water. And this one's also from IKEA, 2 dog bowls for their food. This one's from IKEA. We picked up a water bowl for when we go on walks. This is a collapsible one. IKEA dog brush. Picked up a few treats for them from the supermarket. Then we picked up a dog poo bag thing, because obviously we're taking them to a park after the airport. A few dog leads, some collars, because, well, we just wanted to spoil them. They'll have their collars on when they land at the airport, but we bought these cute little leather ones. And then of course I'm going to have somebody write some comment about how we don't care for our dogs because we're using this. I don't really care about your opinion. Obviously we do if we're spending nearly 10 grand or more, whatever it is, to bring the dogs over. This is to keep our dogs safe, as well as cattle and stock horses and that on the ranch. We've used it the dog's whole life. Basically, it's a dog collar. We're going to put it around a perimeter of about 5 acres. They'll get 5 acres to roam around. As soon as they get close to that boundary, the dog collar vibrates, and then if they get a little bit closer, they get a little zap. Our dogs are completely used to it, so we've bought this to be responsible dog owners to make sure they don't wander. So of course you always get Karens on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook that think they know you and your dog more than anyone else. So if anyone's going to comment about us using zap collars, then go find another channel to follow. But yeah, this I don't see a problem with. I see a problem with people being irresponsible and letting their dogs chase after stock. And no, it's not a matter of training your dog. A dog has an instinct to do that. So we choose to keep them as domestic pets. We need to be responsible. Anyway, moving on, we're going to be picking them up quite early tomorrow. I'm waiting for a call from the airline. Apparently they're supposed to call you 3 days before the dogs fly. They're obviously landing tomorrow. We haven't heard anything. If I don't hear anything in the next hour, I might give the airport a bit of a call and suss out when we can pick them up. So we see you guys bright and early when we go and pick up our dogs. Alright, I'm royally pissed off. Went in to go and pick up the dogs, and I clarified with the dog company over and over again, are you sure that we're picking them up today? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? I even went to the point last night, emailed them and said, so in 14 hours, I'm picking them up in Vancouver airport. And they said yes, because to me it felt like it was another day and a half. But the way the quote was written, it could have been interpreted either way. So I even emailed them and said, is it 14 hours? They said yes. We get here now, we've got the whole trailer loaded up, and it's tomorrow. And we're driving 4 hours out to the ranch today, 3.5, 4 hours. So now Connor's going to have to drive back tomorrow by himself because it's too long of a trip with the kids and that road's really dangerous.
Lovely 8-hour round trip.
An 8-hour round trip to pick up the dogs by himself. And we wanted to be there to pick up the dogs too. So. Right. Alright guys, so we've left the airport. I've released a little bit of anger and accepted the fact that tomorrow Connor's going to have to drive back, and which sucks for him because it's an 8-hour round trip with picking up the dogs again, and we'd planned that whole Airbnb stay in Vancouver to be that long to wait with the dogs, so we could have gone up to the ranch a week earlier, and it's just frustrating, but it is what it is. I don't want to let it ruin our day.
Hey guys, the take 2 of collecting the dogs. So I left the kids and Beck back at Douglas Lake, and now I'm back here to pick up the dogs second time round, so hopefully they're here this time. So I've just been into Canada Cargo. Everything's all good. The dogs are here, but they've told me I have to go to Canada Customs to get all the paperwork stamped, then come back here, pay a fee, and collect the dogs. So hopefully in a very short while we'll have the dogs and be able to head back home. So I think that is Wolf and Harley in those cages there, so hopefully I can get them soon and get them out, let them stretch their legs before we get back in the car for another 4-hour trip. Hey Wolf! I'm gonna let him out. I tried to say hello to Harley, but she is not a happy girl. I think she didn't realise who I was, so I'll let her cool down and hopefully she'll be alright. So, I have picked up Wolf and Harley, and they are too excited to be out to pose for the camera. But we're just still at the freight place. Just need to load them up, but I'm going to let them have a little walk. Got them out of their cages, and Wolf immediately jumped up to the back of the truck. Harley wanted to. She's just a little short maybe a little heavy, but they seem happy now that they're here, and Harley finally recognises who I am. They're a bit dirty, so that can be understandable. Been stuck in a small cage for over 48 hours, so I think I might take them to a pet wash and then go to a park and have a walk. What do you think, eh? I think she's just excited for a car ride. Alright, finally loaded up with the extra dog kennels we didn't realise were ours. So we went and bought new dog kennels. Now we've got a double. So Harley, probably not that happy being back in a cage, and Wolf. So we're going to go and try and get them a dog wash somewhere, clean them up a little bit, and then we'll go to a dog park and let them stretch their legs. You all clean? Didn't want to video this because that was just an absolute mission to clean them. Wolf does not like water, and Harley likes water too much. So now to pack up, take them for a walk, and head home. So we've finally got to rest stop and got the dogs out for stretching the legs, but Harley is not very good with the lead, so this is good fun trying to take two dogs for a walk when all they want to do is run around. Come on! And this is the first time they've ever seen snow, so I'm going to see if they actually want to step into it. What are you doing, Harley? You want to see what it is? Wolf, what about you? You don't like anything wet, so wonder how you'll respond. Hey? I think the rugs are a little small.
Dad's here. Wait, Harley! Hello! Hello!
Good job, Connor. You would be.
Let's go out here.
Hey, buddy! Hello! Hello! Give him to me.
Mom, the
Wolf,
dog.
out of the way, or right out of the way. There you go.
You want to go for a sniff?
What do you think, Harry?
You good girl?
He made a new friend, didn't
Oh, having a wee.
he? Had a new
Having a
friend,
wee?
didn't he?
Missed you, darling. Oops.
Needed
You're all
a wee-
tangled. Come on.
needed a wee-
You happy to see the dogs? You happy to see the dogs? Yeah. Harley, come here. Come here, girl. Harley. Good girl.
Tricky.
Come on, Harley.
Hey, buddy.
He needs a good brush.
Yeah, he looks fluffy.
That horse is 30 years old,
30.
and he still uses them.
Wow, that's cool. You go up home? Come on.
Come here, Harley, come here. That's tight on her.
Is it? Is it too tight? Maybe she hasn't lost weight. I think that just made her look skinnier. Hey guys, I just thought I'd better jump on here and end the video and give you guys a bit more information about the dogs. The dogs have settled in really well. Wolf's pricked his ears up now, said that. It's down here. They're enjoying being here in Canada. Wolf used to be an outdoor dog, like a complete outdoor dog, never came in. Harley in Australia used to come in at night time to sleep in the laundry. But since moving to Canada, they've sort of switched roles. Harley loves being outdoors. Wolf wants to be inside all the time unless he wants to go for a W-A-L-K, because I can't say that word anymore because then he gets too excited. We're only in this house on the ranch for 2 weeks, and then we're moving down the road to a bigger house. They're currently renovating it, so we're just waiting for that. But we've converted this laundry into sort of like their wet area. Once they come in from outside, they come in here to dry off a little bit just from the snow or the rain. So they've just got those beds down there, and obviously their water and everything. I mean, you guys probably have dogs if you're watching this, so you know what it's all like. They've got a little room for their medicine and some treats and their leads. And then the cool thing is, out here connected to the laundry is an outdoor area, which has all got fly mesh on the windows here. So nothing can get in. And then they've got their crates out here, which they haven't used because it's been too cold. And when I say too cold, I mean like for us Australians and the Australian dogs, like it's too cold. And then out there's the yard. So what we've been doing is keeping this back area open for maybe 5 minutes, because I'm still not sure whether, we haven't put that Zap collar on Wolf yet, so we don't want him to wander. They go out there for 5 minutes. Both neighbours have dogs, which is good, so they socialise for a bit. And then yeah, during the day we take them for loads of walks. In the morning obviously we get up, take them out for a walk, and then in the afternoon when Conor comes home we take them for walks, and they get let out throughout the day into the yard and all that. But this week Wolf's actually snuck into there, and he's wanting to become more of an indoor dog, so we'll see how that goes. I've just finished vacuuming, sweeping and mopping this area. They're shedding a lot of hair. I don't know whether it's because of the move, but we're having to constantly brush them, sweep, vacuum, mop, and we're not used to having indoor dogs. Really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope it's helped you guys. It's very stressful making 3 different videos, one of the dogs move abroad, our move, and then also information on our move as well of how to do certain things. So if you want to see any more of our videos, head on over to our channel, subscribe, and oh, the door's going to shut on the dogs. And yeah, if you've got any questions, comment below. See you guys. Say bye. No? Silent?